What's going on, guys? Elite Wolf here, and today is the project announcement. Last video that I made, I know it was a while ago, I had told y'all about the Mountain Blade video, which I will get into near the end of this video, and then a hidden project that I told you guys about, and I told you I'd announce it later, and this is that video. So the project is called Dragon Ball Oblivion. It's a Dragon Ball show that I made, but in Dragon Ball Xuniverse, Xuniverse 2 to be specific, because I had had this idea. This was before like the Moro arc or anything, but it was like after Tournament of Power, so it was in between like Moro arc and Tournament of Power. Even though I didn't read the Moro arc till like the very end, so this idea came to me just like a couple months ago maybe, and I was thinking, man, I don't like the way Dragon Ball is going. Okay, I thought the Moro arc was really good in the beginning, and in the end, it was not as good. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. I was thinking I could probably make a better Dragon Ball show, or at least an okay Dragon Ball show that would fix some of the problems that Super has had, and has apparently continued to have. Um, and just to kind of clarify about this show, okay? Because there's some things that are different here than you'd probably expect. So for one, GT and Super don't happen in this timeline. It's not like some alternate universe or anything, but GT and Super just don't happen. I think that one GT and I couldn't have GT happen in this timeline because GT ends in such a way that it just ends off all of Dragon Ball. Like there would be no way to write like a GT after story, and I don't want to write a GT after story. And then also, like I said, Super doesn't happen in this timeline because then power level scaling is really weird. I don't like how like everybody's just like super powerful. Well, not everybody. Goku and Vegeta are super powerful while everybody else is just useless. Um, and then there's beers in the in Whis and all that. But the reason I'm telling you guys this is one to make sure that you guys aren't confused about anything when the episode comes out. When the first episode comes out, which will probably be a week or two from now. Um, but also because there might still be the transformation from those shows, but they might be like shown differently and maybe explained differently. Now, what I mean by shown differently isn't like I'm not gonna change the way they look, but I mean like the way they're introduced and the way you transform into them, and then explain differently. Um, I don't want to change too much for the sake of not confusing you guys, because I want this to not just be. I don't want it to be super simple because I don't think that you can tell a good story if it's just super simple. Um, or at least that's not a good Dragon Ball story. Um, well, it can't be convoluted, but it's gotta have a good story. And I don't want you guys getting confused on timelines and confusing stuff like that. And also, there will still be characters from like GT and Super, but they won't be the same as they were in those shows. Like, for example, maybe if I added Jiren, or however you say it, into the show, I wouldn't have him be like a Pride Trooper from a different universe. He could be maybe a villain from Universe 7. And there will be little to any universe talk in this because universes, I wouldn't say they're confusing, but it's just, I'm trying to do my own thing here. And also, like, to go on from that, the Beerus and like the Gods of Destruction and Angels, they won't be as OP if they do show up in this show as they were in Super, because I didn't like that. I think that with such overpowered characters around, it takes away from the drama, I guess you could say. It takes away from the tension if you have this overpowered person who can just flick the enemy and he's dead, and especially if they're showing up all the time. So they will, if they ever do show up, uh, then they will not be as overpowered as they were in the show. But they'll be strong. Don't get me wrong, but they won't be as overpowered as they were in Super. Uh, Now, then on to the next thing. I have um, is some of the lore changes, I guess you could say. Super changed stuff like Patara and stupid stuff like that. So few this is specifically just for like kind of fusion, and then the little the little tweaks that Super made that I thought were dumb, but basically it was just fusion. uh, so like Patara's gonna if Patara does show up in this show, it's gonna last forever. It's gonna go as all the fusion rules are gonna go as they were from Dragon Ball Z. So like Patara lasts forever, and then I think it's called Metatarian. I've probably butchered that. It doesn't last forever. So that's how fusion's gonna be in there, if it's in there, and if it is in there, like I'm using Xenoverse 2 with no mods or anything. So you guys are gonna have to bear with me. I'm gonna try and make it as appealing as possible, but I'm obviously not going to be able to do as much as if I did have mods or if I could like draw it, but I'm not good at drawing. I'm not good at animation or anything like that. So please just hang in with me there. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna try and use as much of my imagination to try and make these things look as different as they can and make them as special for my show as I can. Uh, as I can because it's just Xenoverse 2 with no mods. Like I guess with custom mentors, it'll be there's a lot more customization options now in Xenoverse 2 than when it was first released. So just bear with me when it comes to that. I will try to explain things as good as I can, and that's like the fighting obviously isn't going to be as interesting as it could be, which is why I'm trying to make the story super interesting to kind of pick up the slack that fighting would have. I'm still going to try to make fighting as interesting as possible. It's a big part of Dragon Ball, but it's not going to be. It's probably not going to be as interesting as if it was like a manga or an anime. So I'm going to try and have the story and the characters kind of pick up that slack, uh, and just on to the next thing. On to the next thing. There won't be any power level talk in the show because it's really confusing, especially when it comes to like the way Super handled power levels, and even near like the end of Z, it was power levels are just confusing. Okay, there's I don't see any reason for them. They just confuse. You guys can have your head canon or whatever. I don't want to deal with the power levels, and I think that I don't think it would enhance the story. I think it would just be more confusing, and ugh, it's not good. Uh, and just like on the same, it's kind of on the same topic as power levels. Uh, I'm gonna try and make everybody useful in this show. Not only is well, I guess Goku and Vegeta. Okay, so hold up. Let me give a simple plot overview here before I go into this talk. So basically, the plot is Goku and Vegeta are presumed dead, and they've disappeared after going on some mission. Piccolo and then tyrants started to attack Earth. Okay, Piccolo was the first to go, so then the Dragon Balls are gone, and then went Gohan and Boo and all those are then gone because there's no Dragon Balls, you can't revive them. So like the stronger Z fighters basically are gone. The ones that aren't human are gone. Uh, so now back onto what I was saying. So with power level talk. Oh wait, I'm not done with the plot overview. I almost forgot something. So then the remaining Z fighters, which would be like Tien, Yamcha, Krillin, are they're trying to make a new uh, they're trying to train more. They're trying to train a new generation of fighters to like protect Earth, just to fight off the tyrants that are attacking Earth, or any threat that attacks Earth. So basically, become the new Z fighters, but not actually. Um, and I didn't really want to say that because then it makes it seem like they're gonna become they're not the Z fighters. They're just people getting trained by the old Z fighters to try and protect Earth. Um, so everybody's gonna be useful. Like in Super, it was Goku and Vegeta. Those were the only useful ones. And then, or you could just say Goku because Vegeta was useful, but it's the Goku show. That's all Super was. Goku gets the cool powers. Goku gets to win every time. Uh, Goku Goku gets all of it, and everybody else is just kind of left in the dirt. They're all, and I get it. He's the main character, but I don't want this series to just focus around one character. There might be somebody who is more focused on than others. Not a main character. I know that sounds like it's basically the definition of a main character, but I don't want there to be a technical main character. Uh, I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but yeah, the main character isn't going to be the only useful person, is what I'm trying to say. Uh, and then so that's going to be kind of the end of the Dragon Ball Oblivion talk. So this is the I guess you could say Mountain Blade little talk here for a second. I know this is just a announcement for the Dragon Ball show. Actually, let me take one step back here. Um, I have I have a couple people voice acting, and although you probably don't, you may or may not know who they are. I believe that they are. I think they'll do the job well. Um, but I don't have enough voice actors to fill all the characters, and just if you wanted to voice act in the show and you're passionate enough to do this for free, or just, just to do this, if you have the passion for Dragon Ball enough to just want to voice act a character out of pure passion, then just comment it down below. I'm cool with that. I mean, I'll probably we'll talk from there, but just comment it down below if you wanted to. And now on now on to Mountain Blade. So if you guys were really excited about, I had the Mountain Blade project almost done. It was it was basically scheduled to be released next week, and then my computer or laptop got all janky, and I lost all the footage. So now it's gonna take like it was gonna take like another month to actually finish this. It's really annoying, uh, and I was also excited to do that. I was excited for that to release because I put a lot of work into that. All I had to really do was kind of like voice over the adventures, and that was it. But oh well, what can I do? It's gone now. It's just delayed. Uh, and I guess that's all for now. Have a Merry Christmas. Uh, yeah, and if you aren't subscribed now, give me a Christmas present and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.